wait a minute, hold on. Is that Infamous? Is Ian actually gonna play Infamous? I can't believe this. He hasn't talked about Infamous for months. Wait, am I dreaming? Maybe this isn't real. Maybe I'm just imagining this. I didn't think he did Infamous anymore. This has got to be fake. Nope, your eyes do not deceive you. Infamous is back on my channel, everybody. This is for all the people who were begging and pleading for me to just bring Infamous back. We can't take Horizon and Call of Duty anymore. Just bring it back, please. Okay. Holy shit. Have some dip. Calm the fuck down. So, there have been quite a few rumors going around recently that Sucker Punch's new game is actually Infamous. This was brought to my attention by a user on my last video, which got deleted because I was editing the video on YouTube for some stupid reason. I made a mistake, the mistake could not be undone, and so I didn't want that left in the video and had to remove it, unfortunately. But the comment was left by a user named Zabas. Sorry if I totally butchered your name. I have no idea how to pronounce these goddamn names you people choose. Why do you make it so hard on me? Anyway, the link that he left in this comment was to an article discussing the possibility of Sucker Punch's new game being, in fact, a sequel or prequel to Infamous. All the articles I read say pretty much the same thing. That thing being, after E3 this year, where Sucker Punch was present but just too lazy to actually show anything, PlayStation Worldwide CEO Shuhei Yoshida confirmed that Sucker Punch's new game does exist and he has played it multiple times. He then stopped himself before saying any more because he didn't want to give away too many details. Also, back in December of 2015, Scott Rode, or Rhodey, not sure how to pronounce that last name, said that Sucker Punch's new game was playable. Holy shit, 2015, that's 1 year after Second Son was released. If this tells us anything, it's that Sucker Punch is damn good at whipping up new projects in no time flat. It's just the small details and the polish that takes so long, I'm guessing. Now before everybody shits their pants, jumps the gun, and heads for the nearest game store to place a pre-order for a game that doesn't even exist yet, I'd like everyone to firstly change your pants, because if you have shit in your pants, I would imagine that would not be very comfortable for you. After you've done that, grab a snack, take a seat, and let's employ some critical thinking here. First of all, none of these articles actually say that a new Infamous game is the game Sucker Punch is working on. They just mention a new game in general. I'm gonna throw up a chart on screen for you. Give me just a minute here. Shit. Okay. Now, if you take a good look at my personal protein spill here, you can probably make out a couple of shapes and numbers. Those shapes and numbers are video games that Sucker Punch has produced, and the numbers represent years. The numbers in blue represent the year that these games were announced. The numbers in red represent the years in which the games were actually released. Unfortunately, I could not find any announcement dates for these Sly Cooper games. They were made back on the PS2, and in that time era, I guess game announcements weren't really as big of a deal as they are now. At least not to me. I was just a little kid, didn't pay much attention to gaming news or anything, I just loved to play games at that time. But if I'm wrong and any of the Sly Cooper games did have announcement dates, feel free to leave it in the comments because I could not find anything. But let's get back to this chart. So here we have a timeline starting with Sly Cooper and going all the way to the release of Infamous First Light. Sly Cooper was released in 2002, followed up by Sly 2 in 2004, which saw a sequel, Sly 3, in 2005. Not too shabby, they clearly got better at making the games over time. But take a look at the amount of time it took Sucker Punch to transition from Sly Cooper to Infamous, which was, at the time, a new IP. 4 years! Now, Infamous did see a reveal trailer at E3 2007 with a 2008 release date. But obviously, for reasons unknown, the game was delayed until 2009, and I'm glad it was because the game turned out that much better for it. Then we see the announcement of Infamous 2 in 2010, just 1 year after the release of Infamous. And of course, the game doesn't come out until 2011, so this leaves Sucker Punch with 1 year for development, trailers, hype, advertising, that sort of thing. Shortly after that, Festival of Blood was released as a short standalone DLC. Then 2 years later, in 2013, we see the reveal of Infamous Second Son. The game doesn't launch until 2014, which again leaves Sucker Punch with 1 year for trailers, hype, development, the things I mentioned just a second ago. You can start to see a pattern here. They usually announce their games at least 1 year before the release date. Now, if we take into account the amount of time it took Sucker Punch to jump from Sly to Infamous, despite the fact that Infamous was revealed in 2007, and we compare that to Sucker Punch's recent behavior where they've been quiet for 3 years straight, with the presumption that Sucker Punch will be at PlayStation Experience this year, which means we will not see the release of their new game until 2018, that makes another massive 4-year gap. I don't know about you, but that tells me that they're pretty much working on a new IP. Because based on their recent habits, if this was in fact a new Infamous game, they would not have taken anywhere near this long to announce it. But what if it is Infamous and they're just taking a really long time to make it perfect? Well, at this rate, we might as well just expect the game to be a launch title for the PS5. Sony has already confirmed the existence of the console, and people are speculating that it will release sometime around 2019 or 2020. And if we look at more of Sucker Punch's recent habits, they've released at minimum 2 Infamous games on each console generation. We had Infamous 1 and 2 on the PS3, along with Festival of Blood as a little bonus. We got Second Son and First Light on the PS4. They could slip one more game in if they wanted to, but it seems more likely that they'd just wait for the PS5. Unless they've taken the lesson out of Hideo Kojima's notebook and they're just staying quiet on purpose to tease us. Now that I think about it, they've been hanging out with him quite a lot recently. Maybe he's rubbing off on them. What if they're just playing with us? Watching us from the shadows. Mocking us with their silence. I mean, this new game was playable in 2015, so if it was a new IP, it probably would have taken them longer to get a working build. Maybe they're just waiting for that perfect moment. Right when we are about to snap. About to break. And then they just...
Do the same thing as me, betray your audience.